It's just a little red wine, I'll be fine. Not like I wanna do this every night.
Hi guys, welcome to Neptuna Tarot. My name is Cassidy. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be doing a spicy, juicy, hot reading on what is the juicy tea gossip on you. So what are people saying? And just a reminder guys, this is all gossip. This is all word of mouth. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be true, okay? And as always guys, these are collective readings for a general amount of people, which means that you need to take what resonates, leave what doesn't. There might be a message in here that's meant for somebody else to hear today. So take it all with a grain of salt anyway. And if you're looking for anything more specific, guys, I do have personal readings available. So go ahead, DM me on Instagram, or you can also email me. But let's go ahead and jump right into the piles here. Pile number 1. We have Father. It is going to show you guys the traits in the meditation, so I'll read them to you. We have light attributes, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit, shadow attribute, dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Ooh, more words today. Alright, we have pile 2, Avenger. Light attributes, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. In pile number 3, we have Exorcist. Light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. So as always, I'm going to do a 30-second meditation for you guys. And I also shuffle music down below. So if you're still needing help deciding a pile, that might help you out. But that's it guys. I will see you at your pile. Hi there, pile number 1. You guys chose Father. Light attributes, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Shadow attributes, dictatorial control and abuse of authority. All right, guys, so let's just jump in. What's the gossip? What's the tea? What is going on here? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Are y'all doing okay? I feel like that's what people are kind of wondering. Okay, so there's just so much going on. It's just, it's intense energy, let me just say. Like, we have a whole caretaker, like part of your genetics, a whole half of your energy, but not only that, it's also like an energy that you're providing within a unit, within your relationships, like whether it's your friendships, your coworkers, your family unit. Like, I believe that you bring this energy very naturally into these, like, you're a guiding light within these units. And I just feel like you really are so supportive of the people that you love. And hold on, sorry, I'm switching my bracelet because that one was not working out. All right. And there is kind of like a weird side to this, though, is like, it's like the people that are close to you might kind of describe you as, you know, a guiding light or a leader or maybe authoritative in some way. You know, it's not, it's weird. It's maybe it comes across as more like, whereas a mother would be nurturing, you know, stereotypically nurturing, a father might be more like stern or like give you just advice, like base it in logic rather than emotion. You know, this is just stereotypical gender roles here, but since we do have the father coming out, it's really weird energy because people are talking about either your father, they're gossiping about your father, your relationship with your father, or how your father affected you in your life, all of these things. And I feel it's weird because I feel like they are saying a lot of good things, that they were a positive guiding light for you, and that that your father is a positive guiding light. But then it's weird because there's another energy where some people are talking about maybe abuse that happened between you and the father, whatever kind. I don't really want to get into that. Who wants to get into that? And I'm so sorry if you've experienced any of those things, but it's just what's being talked about, your relationship with your father, whether it was good, whether it was bad, it's being discussed. And I know that we just had a Father's Day recently pass, and also I find it really ironic that this is coming out for, as a lot of you guys know, this is personal. Like, my own father passed in April. So it's just like, for this to come out, and also the Avenger card, pile 2, like, he loved Marvel, Avengers, all those things. So it's just, this whole reading is like, okay. So that's, you know, maybe some of you have experienced a loss. Maybe Father's Day brings up whatever relationship you have with your father, whether it is good, bad, or they're passed on, you know what I mean? Maybe you're grieving, maybe you're separated, maybe, and that's why I'm saying it's like very intense energy. So that's what's being talked about very heavily for you. But it's really weird because it's like people are discussing the things that you actually are similar and like and different
than your father. Like, it's really weird. Like, this is an interesting one. Like, this is such a personal, like, straight on about your father. Like, obviously it's center of the reading here. It could just be general. Two people are talking about you learning to take the good and the bad here. I'm not sure. Let's keep going. Let's dig deeper here. We also have Destiny and Instinct coming out, and these cards represent like emotions most of the time. So it's really weird that we have Instinct and Destiny. Like, these aren't really emotions. So I feel like for a lot of you here, you have gone into some level of kind of survival mode, just trusting your instincts right now. Just your for those of you who have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, like I'm hearing Ty Lee kind of saying that your aura here is gray. Your aura is coming through a little bit gray, okay? And so it's like some of you, this doesn't feel like it's 100% in character for you. So some people are talking about how, you know, your aura has kind of changed. Your aura might be a little bit, quote unquote, darker right now. Like, she just specifically talks about her closest friend, May, her energy being gray at one point. So she says it as if it's a negative thing. I don't really know about auras as much. So, you know, to me, this could just be something new that you're experiencing as well. Like, you might have never felt this way. Is causing a lot of confusion. People are saying that this energy is causing you confusion. You're not really sure how to approach this. And so you've gone into more of a survival, instinctive mode. But a lot of people are also talking about your destiny for some reason. This is weird. People are talking about how you are trying to align with a destiny here. Some people are talking about that you believe in destiny. That you believe in spirit guides, angels, yin yang, karma, destiny. People are talking about how you might believe in more spiritual, occult things. There's something here about the night. We have stars, we have moons. Like, it's just very dark. It just feels very dark. It just feels very much like this might be a dark night of the soul for you at this time. Like, this might be a really intense period of your life. Like, people are talking about that this is, while it's destiny, it's still putting you in this instinctive energy that people are like having a hard time interacting with. I feel like they feel like you're confused. We also have Saturn here at the bottom of the deck, eyeballing me, which is this card. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but this is already showing itself. This one is hidden, so for some reason it doesn't want me to get there yet. But we have Saturn, so this is restriction. You know, so I feel like you have been restricted in a lot of ways, in different ways at this time. And Saturn is like, oh, that's crazy. Saturn to me is father energy. It is, you know, the one who's gonna kind of be stern with you. teach you lessons, but it'll feel restrictive. It'll feel maybe like rules or consequences or like a punishment. So people are talking about how you might be feeling restricted, punished, but it's connected to destiny. It's connected to learning a lesson. It's connected to like this fatherly energy, this guiding light, destiny energy. Let's get into these cards here. We have Hand of Cards. Taking a chance, risk, being strategic, options, not showing hand, gambling. So with this one, people are saying that you're a little bit unpredictable right now. People feel like you're taking certain risks, certain chances, but it's like people are talking about maybe that it feels strategic, and it also feels very private. I get an energy here of you're not showing your hands, you're not showing your cards, you're not showing like what you've got, you know what I mean? Like you might be keeping a lot more things private, like plans or blessings or whatever this is. Maybe it is even just sharing even just your life. I don't know why I'm getting like maybe you're taking a break from social media here, or maybe you're like just posting less here, but people do get a sense of like something is maybe off or different, or it's just like they feel more cut off. They feel a little bit like you are a little bit unpredictable and like maybe in this risky energy. So people are talking about that. People are talking about how you're willing to take risks as well. You're willing to gamble. It's weird. It feels connected to this destiny. It feels connected to like you trust that it's like the Fool card in tarot. Like you trust things are going to turn out okay. The universe will take care of you kind of thing. But it's just like whatever this is just put you in a survival mode. And it feels like Saturn, and just like it feels very much like a lone wolf. And I don't know if you know that, or I don't even know if this is true, honestly. Let me fact check me, but I'm pretty sure like it is dangerous for a wolf to like be on its own, because you know wolves are usually in packs. And so people could be talking about that. Like some of you might be feeling vulnerable, like just like in the woods on in survival mode, very much on guard energy. But we also have this separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. Like to me, some of you could definitely be grieving. Like this is giving a lot of grieving energy. But people are talking about that you have a sadness, that you are missing somebody, that you're separated from somebody, whether it is this father energy or not. It's just you are coming across as separated from somebody that you are deeply, deeply missing. Like people can kind of sense it. Like maybe you bring them up, or you do little things, or people catch you looking at photos or something like this, where it just kind of gives away the fact that you're thinking about them, you're yearning, you're missing them. We also have unsure of the future. So you see there's that confusion still lingering. Like people are talking about you being unsure of the future, you not really knowing how to move forward from this separation, from this sadness, from this missing yearning energy. Like some of you guys, I'm getting a sense of a breakup. Like a lot of you, like if this isn't grieving energy, I'm getting a huge breakup. This could also be like I was talking about, you showing less of your life, being more private, maybe not showing up. Not showing up. As I just connected, as I looked up, I was looking at the word showing, so confirmation. Possibly you not showing up. Like, you could be separating yourself as well, you know, kind of like I was talking about lone wolf energy. Like, you might be kind of ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I don't wanna be a cigarette, I don't wanna be your ashtray. The runner. See, and then it's like, I'm getting that song Loner by Kali Uchis, and it's all about, I feel like, this energy here, the runner. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. So this is just showing that you guys, people are talking about how you run. People are talking about how you separate. People are talking about how you pull away, how you stop showing your hand. People are talking about how, I think, you cut people off, you run away, separate, yeah. And people are saying that it's because you have a fear of like intimacy, of getting close to people, of like people seeing, I guess, the vulnerable side of you, because you've been in this survival mode. Honestly, guys, this is giving a little bit CPTSD energy, which, you know, I've been discussing with my therapist, and that's just like what I'm getting here. It just kind of feels like, feeling like everything is a threat, just feeling very unsafe, even when you are safe. And it could have definitely been triggered by a separation here, and also by this Saturn restrictive energy. So, you know, that could have been what triggered it, what caused it, but people just feel you isolating, separating, and people are saying that it's you listening to your ego as well. And mind you, this is gossip, but they're saying that this is your ego keeping you alone, keeping you quote unquote safe, because that's what your ego does. Your ego is like trying to keep you from embarrassing yourself, trying to keep you from putting yourself out there, because it's scared and it fears that you will be humiliated, laughed at, you will be like, it will cause you pain. It will cause you, whether it's mental, physical, whatever pain, you putting yourself out there is a risk, is a chance, is a gamble. And people are saying that that a lot of times, instead of putting yourself out there, you choose to run. Let's go ahead and see what we got over here. Leo energy. So people are talking about your creativity. They're talking about your dramatics, okay? People are gossiping about the way you present yourself. People are saying that you do come across as very confident, that you come across as very confident, creative. You know, Leo is the sun, glowing energy. Usually you're very happy. And it's funny that this has been hidden this entire reading, because that really would have thrown me off. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You see how gray, and I just keep hearing Ty Lee. At least my aura is not a dingy gray or whatever she's, I can't remember the quote, so I didn't want to try, but I keep hearing the word dingy. So it's like, if this red, bright, glowing energy was here, it would have been distracting. So people are also feeling like you're not showing your usual like talents, creativity. You're not showing your usual confidence. You know, it feels like it's being hidden, or some people even feel like it's being like taken from them. Some people are kind of feeling entitled to your energy here, and feeling like you need to share with them and like show up for them, and like not be so isolated and private. Like it's weird, like half of it feels very entitled, and then the other half of it feels like they just miss you, like they're just yearning for your energy, thinking about you. So just, you know, tread lightly here, take it as it resonates. But yeah, this Leo Sun energy, number 5. We do have the number 5. We also have 19 on the Saturn energy, so that breaks it into a 1 here. So this is like challenges. Number 5 represents challenges, tribulations, you know, tough times. And then number 1 represents self. So this is like definitely a hard, challenging time within yourself that you're having. Bottom of the decks, let's check those out before we go to tarot. We have mysticism. So see, once again, obviously, I didn't even look down. Like, I'm telling you, I forget the bottom of the deck exists, except Saturn was just like screaming at me. You know, it just happens. We have mysticism. You are so like sneaky. Like, people feel like you, I don't know why, people feel like they almost forget about you until you might make an appearance, or you might like show up, or like they'll see you post or something. I don't know what this is. Like, people really feel like you're hidden at this time, or like you're not showing your full self, or like you're just very much in the dark, doing things in the dark, planning in the dark. Like, people feel like you're planning, like it's intentional, like you're focused on something. Maybe it's this destiny energy. Maybe it is just about staying hidden and being fearful of intimacy. Mysticism, yeah. What is this about? Despondent. See, people feel like you're desponding. People feel like you are, rather than responding, you're desponding. You know, you're pulling back. You're choosing to not react, respond. Like, you're just kind of possibly disassociating. People are talking about that as well. Maybe you kind of are really just struggling. There's so much purple faith, but it's showing reverse. So it's just like, yeah, you've lost some faith in something. And so people are talking about you might be struggling at this time. And so you're choosing to like not do anything about it. You're choosing to despond instead of respawn. And it's just like, people aren't used to that. People are probably more used to you being in this Leo energy where you're reactive and fiery. And it's like you say how you feel, but I feel like this is more Aquarius energy. It's like you've kind of gone the opposite. So Leo, Aquarius energy, where it's like more serious, more restricted, more instinctive, I don't know, quote unquote logical, than reactive, emotional, fiery. We also have bottom of the deck self-indulgence. Focus on self. See, what do I say? This is about challenges, tribulations, and self. Focus on self. Self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. And see, that's what I feel like this actually is. Like, there's so much gossip going on about like, oh, this is why they're doing this. This is why this is, I don't know, like acting like they actually can see your intentions and know what you're thinking and everything. But it's just like, I feel like because you've desponded, because you have been, you know, not showing your hand of cards as much, you know, you might have been separating yourself more, and you might be running. But I think the root of this, what people aren't seeing, since this is bottom of the deck, what people aren't seeing is that this is actually just time for you to work on yourself, heal, you know, do shadow work. Like, this is deep here. This is hard. This is, you know, trials, tribulations within self. And so this is, you know, that's why I'm feeling like some people are talking about like, this is partly destiny, this is self-indulgence, this is like you going into this era of self-appreciation and learning maybe how to protect yourself, so you don't feel this energy constantly. Like, people are admitting, I feel like, that this is just not in character for you. We do have, we have the King of Pentacles, guys. This is so cool to me because, you know, I would have been excited just with the King of Pentacles. I love the King of Pentacles, like all day, every day. Get me a King of Pentacles, you know. But then the fact that it came out with the King of Cups, you guys are so stable. I feel like financially, like people are talking and gossiping about your finances at this time. They're talking about how you might be able to buy some new shiny things for yourself, that you are just moving into a period of abundance here. But also just people are talking about how you really set a good example, especially when it comes to like setting foundation, especially financial foundation, like stabilizing yourself when it comes to being calm and generous as well. I feel like you are just a generous soul. Like you give openly, whether it's to the collective, to your family, friends, close, circle, or just to the public, to society, to, to the houseless. Whatever it may be, it's just like you come across as very, very, very cool, calm, collected, and it's just like, but also like in a way luxurious and like elegant. And I just love the King of Pentacles energy. Like it's just so like, ooh, like baddie, like the baddest, and but it's like people are starting to see it. People are starting to see you coming out to shine more. People are talking about how, yeah, you're abundant, your finances are good. But not only that, on top of that, we have the King of Cups. What? Like you're emotionally mature. You're emotionally intelligent. You are a leader when it comes to like how you emotionally I guess react or understand things, other people's emotions, how much empathy you have. Like it's just, but also boundaries, because the King of Cups can't stay in emotional maturity without good boundaries. It's just a really beautiful energy. And to me, like earth and water make mud, and it's just like you are this beautiful mud, this beautiful like clay energy. And I just feel like the universe, like you have this weird destiny. People are talking about that. Like people feel like you have two kings here. It's like you're meant to kind of do something here within leadership or within like setting an example, inspiring others. Because to me, what it is, like the difference between king and queen energy is very much just introverted, extroverted. The queen, they show themselves more introverted, and the king show themselves more extroverted. So it's like they both have mastery of those energies, but it's just expressed differently, no matter the gender too. So for me to see two kings, you express these things, what did I just say? Introverted, extrovertedly. Yes, you express these things extrovertedly. So I don't usually say that. Is that a word? I hope it's a word. But yeah. So you just you're sharing yourself. Like people are talking about how I feel like people are just very used to you being in this Leo energy. So that's what they're basing this gossip on. That's what they're basing like this energy on. Also, I feel like it's how you've been reacting to these trials and tribulations. It's how you've been handling them, how you have been truly working on yourself, staying private, doing the shadow work here. I don't know, like people do see that it's more about who you are as a person and your character that's coming through. Like you just come across as somebody who is abundant and somebody who's emotionally mature. But I do get a sense of some people are gossiping about you not seeing the bigger picture here. With the runner too, it's like people are judging you here pretty hardcore about like you listening to ego or you not going in the right path, the right direction, like not seeing the bigger picture here. And mind you, this is words. This is just what people are saying. It doesn't have to be true. If you feel like truly you're on the right path, and you're taking good care of yourself and doing what you need to do, this could just be gossip. But for some of you, you know, this could be like some of you need to kind of open up, see the bigger picture, especially if it's about a separation. Like some of you guys could still be very confused, in survival mode, really hurt, sad over this separation, and it's like kind of needing to see the bigger picture here. And when, for those of you grieving, let me just say, like, it doesn't make it better. Like, seeing the bigger picture will never make it better. So that's kind of like, you know, don't take, like, that's what I'm saying, like, take things as it resonates. Like, I'm saying that more for like the people experiencing breakups right now. It's like kind of trying to see the bigger picture of like why that needed to happen for you personally in your life, and also questioning yourself of like, was partly this separation because of my own fear of intimacy? Was I listening to my ego? Was I in a codependent relationship? It's like asking yourself some hard questions. It's like people are gossiping about whether or not you're doing that, whether or not you're seeing the bigger picture and asking yourself those deeper questions about this separation. So they're also talking about, the other shown card was the 10 of Cups. It is showing reverse. So to me, this is showing unhappy family. And obviously for those grieving, or for those who are separated or missing a father figure in their life, or a, you know, we're in a breakup, it's just like there's definitely a lot of sadness. And it feels like, to me though, this definitely feels like within a family, like just an unhappy home, an unhappy family. Like this is the opposite of a time to celebrate kind of energy. It just feels very, it feels very distracting, actually. That's what it is. It's a weird thing to put my finger on, because what this energy feels is like just very distracting. Like it's something that you can't like fix, or you can't work on like all at once. It's like something that's going to take a long time, something that's going to like, it's gonna have to work out in time. And that's why for a lot of you, people are saying you're working on yourself, but it's like within a family dynamic, it's like it's gonna take a lot longer. It's gonna take a lot more deeper conversations, deeper like fixing the root of this unhappiness and trying to get back to a place of like joy, celebration within a what feels like a family dynamic. We have the 8 of Cups here. It is showing reverse. So people are talking about, and this does feel like a breakup, or yeah, it feels for a lot of you, this feels like a breakup. It feels like you spent too much time with a person, or you spent like, you gave a lot of your time and energy to something that wasn't serving you. And I feel like you've been separated from it. And for those of you, it's not like, if you're grieving, like I'm like different storyline, different. Like this is mostly for people breakup and I don't know, I'm getting something else though. Like it could be for some of you guys like leaving a family dynamic. Like you stayed in a toxic family unit for too long. Like it wasn't serving you. If anything, it could have kept you in this survival mode, and and that could be like separation, unsure of the future. You know what I mean? Take it as it resonates here, but it's just something here that you stayed too long, that you spent too much time giving your energy to, giving to something that isn't serving you. And it's like you didn't walk away. You couldn't see the bigger picture. So people are talking about that. Like if you overstayed in a situation that like wasn't serving you, people are talking about that, because bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Pentacles, and this is talking about how you're a generous person, especially with the King of Pentacles. Like it shows you've got money. King of Cups, you've got heart. You have money, you have heart. Oh, so this person's gonna give to me. You know, this person's going to give to me. And so that could also be like, you might also have a fear here of like doing this again, like overstaying and like having to kind of live through these experiences again of having to separate, having to walk away from what's not serving you, you know, putting you in this sad, restrictive Saturn energy. And it's just like the core of this is like, you're a generous person. You deserve to have relationships that are equally as giving as you are. You know, they don't overtake. It doesn't force you to overthink the connection and put you in survival mode and just affect you so negatively. So let's see, I kind of want to get one last card to leave you off with. Just trying to look around here. What are people gossiping about? What are people gossiping about? Last card, please, Spirit. What are people gossiping about? Oh my god, no. 2 cards. I just want 1. Okay, my body is my home, and I must love it immeasurably by gently touching my skin, my laugh lines, and my scars. I appreciate my body fully. I am beautiful inside and out. I feel like you're connecting with yourself so much more than you ever have before. People are talking about you could be looking differently. You could be going through a physical glow up, or at least just like a physical, energetic, like self-love journey where it's just like you're learning to love and accept yourself so much. So people are talking about your relationship with your body and how it is it's what's the word? It's growing, it's flourishing. I don't know. I feel like you're learning how to be more in touch with your body. People are talking about, yeah, a possible glow up or a possible like you just being more in touch with your physical. We also have abundance. Money is abundant, and I only have to seek it with confidence, walking forth into fortune. I will do the work and the money shall come. So people are talking about how you do the work and the money comes, and that's what makes you into this abundant King of Pentacles energy. So that's all the time that I have for you guys. I hope that this message resonated for you guys. If it did, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Until next time, I'm sending you so much love, light, protection, blessings. Peace! Hi guys, welcome. Pile number 2. You guys picked Avenger. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Oof. All right, pile 2, let's jump right in. So people are saying that okay, this is a weird one because I'm seeing we have a representation of justice. We also have the justice card in reverse over here, and bottom of the deck we have balance with the scales. So that gives me, there's a lot of discussion about right and wrong, and what's right, what's wrong. And especially like people feel like you carry a lot of righteousness. People are talking about your desire to, you know, balance the scales of justice. Like you're very focused on quote unquote justice and you're very righteous, but it's almost like people are discussing like what is justice to you, and like whether or not your opinion of justice really is right. Okay, like so take it as it resonates, guys. This is gossip. Okay, this is like what people are saying. So some people are, I want to say, hating and saying that you kind of live by your own rule of justice. Like you kind of just do what feels right and fair to you instead of like what's fair for everybody. And the reason I say this isn't just, you know, I'm not just like pulling this up for any reason, but I'm getting 2 scenarios here, so take whichever scenario resonates. It's not going to be for everybody, especially this one. So the first scenario is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Some of you guys have become violent or aggressive in your desire to balance the scales of justice. Like you've kind of taken it upon yourself. You've taken it upon yourself and you've chosen to make decisions that you felt were right and fair, but I don't think they were, or I don't think that everybody would agree that they were, especially if it relates to violence in any degree. It's just like a lot of people who are like, especially pacifist energy, like just are not going to agree with that. They're going to look at that as quote unquote bad, wrong, evil. They're going to look at that as violent, and it just, to them, it doesn't matter. I would say that I hope that they do care about the scenario. I really do, but it's just like a lot of people are discussing like, so if that's not like you've never been violent in your life, you've never been aggressive in your life, you've never struggled with that at all, that message is not for you, okay? But I do get a general sense here of people being unhappy about your righteous decisions, or about your your desire to balance the scales of justice. I feel like hasn't always been one that you've thought of everybody. Like it's just at times you kind of just thought, this is fair to me, you know, the scales balance on my back, so what's the issue? Even though there's all these people unhappy, unsatisfied around you. So people are talking about that. They're talking about, they're discussed, like I feel like what it is like people are kind of arguing or kind of going back and forth on whether or not your decisions were the right decisions or just or fair. And let me tell you, like, this is just kind of weird. It feels like moral dilemmas, or like it kind of feels like philosophy, I guess. It just feels like, it kind of feels like the train scenario. Yeah, like are you gonna kill one or are you gonna kill 5? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, what was the lesser evil, you know, energy? It's like people are just really discussing you and your life choices as if like, was that right? Like, was that fair? Like, and I feel like you might come across as somebody very like righteous and just very sure of yourself and very much like, you know, kind of like this avenger here, where it's like you take it upon yourself in ways to what's the fucking hammer? Oh man. I thought I knew that word. What the fuck? Whatever, the little hammer that the judges have, like, you know, you tend to take it upon yourself, like you Judge Judy it, and you just you're like, I'm gonna figure this out, like I'm unbiased, I am fair, I am, you know, law, I am justice. And it's just like, some people are like, no, you're not. So I'm so sorry if that's offensive to you guys. Like, it's just coming through as like kind of gossip, but it's also coming through as, like I said, like people are really debating or kind of like going back and forth, whether it's themselves or with others, like gossiping, discussing, like, was that right? Like, should they have done that? Like, did they just do the best that they could at the time? Like, I don't, like, people are trying to like empathize and also trying to like understand your perspective. Because from the outside, it's like you come across as somebody who has like a lot of dreams, a lot of hopes, a lot of prayers. Like, you do want to make lemonade with the lemons that life gives you. And I think that you dream of like more, like you dream of, it's funny, different paths. I've never noticed that. There's two different paths. And there's one to a city, and then there's one to a farm. So some of you guys, like, you could really go back and forth about like what it is that your soul wants and desires. So people talk about like they could see you doing a lot of different things, or it's just that you might be kind of I don't know, people are hard on you, pile, too. Like, I'm so sorry if you pick this one, because people are a bit hard on you. They're saying like that you need to pick a path, you know. It's like you need to make lemonade with the lemons. Like, some people feel like you're not, that you're just kind of daydreaming. You see how these are just kind of like daydreams. So it's just like people are kind of like saying that instead of praying about it, instead of wishing for it, instead of hoping for it, it's like you need to kind of choose and dedicate yourself to a path. And it's like people do see that you have different paths. Like, I feel like people could see you living in a city, people could see you living in a farm, people could see you living in the woods, you know, alone. Like, I don't know, like people could just see you in so many different scenarios. And I feel like maybe you have lived a bunch of different, like in a bunch of different environments as well. Like, maybe you've kind of lived all over the place too, but it's like people wonder if that is satisfactory for you. Like, are you gonna be happy when you haven't really picked a true path, and when you just have a bunch of lemons, you know, at the end of the day? Very interesting. We also have gratitude here. So people are talking about that you have a very sweet and grateful soul. Like, you could be the kind of person who considers yourself lucky in all aspects. Like, you're always just like, whether or not it's like someone at Starbucks like paid for your coffee or tea or something like that in the car before you, you know what I mean? It's just like little things like that, or like people giving you little gifts, or not even gifts. Like, let me get away from material things, because I do get a sense of like you really are grateful to just spend time with people. I just get a sense of like you're very, very loving. Like, you love to be around people, like, and you love to be around other people who are like very loving too. Like, who are focused on love and who are focused on growth, that kind of thing. Like, you're very much focused on like being grateful for those kinds of people in your life. We have coffin endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. People are talking about a lot of things ending for you. And I think that's also why people are talking about, like, what are you going to do next, and about your path and these kinds of things, because something has ended for you. Maybe it's just like a cycle in your life. Maybe it's a phase in your life, and it's like you're preparing yourself for a new path. You're preparing yourself for the next chapter. You're preparing yourself for, we have Phoenix, the new phase. Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. So they're talking about how you have been transitioning, and I feel like you have been working on growth. We have growth here twice. We have change, and we also have changed mind. So I feel like a sense of like, whatever this ending was, it has freed you up to become even stronger, even better than before. And I do get a sense of like, some people are kind of curious of like, what's next. And like, I think some people are really excited to see what you do next, because it's a level of liberation. It's the Phoenix, you know, transformation, rekindled, growth on both cards. So this has been a period of growth for you, and people are excited to see how this phase ending and a new phase starting, how this will affect you in your life. People are just talking about how you've changed, how you've grown, how you're stronger. The butterfly, two symbols of transformation, two symbols of something completely transforming, from ash to phoenix, from caterpillar to butterfly. So we have relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, growth. We have growth on all three cards. People are talking about your growth here. Wow, that's beautiful. People are talking about your gentle spirit as well. I'm hearing this song, Love is Like a Butterfly by Dolly Parton. And people are talking about healing your inner child. Like, you are working to connect more and be more appreciative and more protective of your heart, and of your inner child, of who you were when you were young and carefree and liberated. And who do you want to be? Like, what's this next phase? What's the renewal going to look like? People are talking about that. What is this renewal going to look like? We have Scorpio. Yes, Scorpio literally represents death, transformation, change. So to me, this is another symbolism of you growing, of you changing. Everybody's seeming to talk about this change within you, that you really seem to be doing things differently. You know, you're really trying, you know. With the number 8 here, people could be talking about money as well, that you could be making more money, becoming more financially abundant. Let's look at the bottom of the deck though. Okay, so we already talked about balance here. So some people are talking about you being imbalanced, and they're talking about how sometimes they don't think that you're always fair, you're always reasonable here, but it's almost like, because it's bottom of the deck, you might not see it, or other people might not see that. And it's just like specific people gossiping about that and talking about that, how you're not always balanced or fair. We also have the runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, and listening to ego. So I do get a sense of like, people are gossiping really hardcore about like your shadow. People are discussing your shadow. People are gossiping about your shadow here. They're talking about how you might run from deepening connections. You might run from, like, if they don't fit exactly what works with you and like kind of mirrors you, then I think I get a sense of like people talking about you running or you separating yourself, listening to ego. And I did this whole spiel in pile 1 about the ego just trying to protect us. The ego is just trying to protect us from pain, protect us from humiliation, embarrassment. You know, it's the thing that's going to stop you from getting up on stage and expressing yourself, because, you know, that ego is like, you're gonna look like a fool, you know? And it's like not the greatest voice in your head, but when it becomes the predominant thing that you listen to, you know, that's when it becomes toxic. And that's also when it becomes like, that's why I feel like people are trying to see you grow, or they're gossiping about your growth, but they're gossiping here about like that you're trying to stop listening so much to your ego, that you're trying to do the shadow work here, that you're trying to heal this fear of intimacy. And we also have Aquarius. So this is the humanitarian, guys. The Aquarius is like somebody who's just wants good for humanity. Also, I just get a sense of like you are a really good friend. Yeah, like people are talking about how you are a really good friend and that you do have close friendships here. It just like seems to be like a fear of like deeper intimacy. But it's also like people are just talking about how you kind of are quirky, you're kind of unique. You kind of, with the Scorpio energy, you might even come off a little cold at times, or just like a little bit, I don't know, maybe flirty as well. So let's jump into the tarot. Let's see what we've got here. So right off the bat, sorry I shook the camera, guys, but we have Justice in reverse. So we talked about that earlier. Like, I don't know why I get a sense people are gossiping about a certain injustice, like a specific injustice that's happened in your life recently, and they're talking about how it's thrown you off. We also have this person has a blindfold on. So once again, it's just kind of giving this imagery here to me of somebody who isn't like clearly seeing the scales, like isn't clearly seeing, you know, it's like we all have our bias. We all have a way of looking at things. Like no one is 100% like going to be able to be fair and just at the end of the day. So it's kind of like you need to stop blinding yourself to the idea of like you are always right, or you are always like, yeah, you're always right, or you're always just, or it's just like people are getting kind of tired of this righteousness here. And if it's not righteousness, like I said, it's just like a huge injustice has happened to you lately. And I think that it's caused you to have to carry a lot of burdens on your back alone. Like you've had to do a lot of hard work here. And I really feel like you're really exhausted, you're really worn out, you're burnt out here. I feel like you're overworked here. I feel like you, people are talking about how you're doing too much, and it's too much for you to shoulder on your own. But it just seems like you're not asking for help here though. I don't know. We have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, people are talking about they want you to kind of speak up. They kind of wish that you would speak your truth on this injustice. They hope as well that this gives you, like, whatever this burden, this injustice is, they're hoping that this kind of gives you the ability to translate through words and through words and through like writing as well, like give you ideas. What is this card? King of Cups. So yeah, people are talking about how you are a sweetheart at the end of the day. It's like, I feel like your want for justice comes from your want of like peace and love, and just like, I think that you do have a really good sense of emotional like intelligence. I think you're able to read other people pretty well. What, like your friendships and stuff, like you know when to kind of like come in and comfort people and be grateful for them. What's kind of weird though is that we do have this 9 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So this represents some codependency. People are gossiping about codependency, but codependency to what? To death. Codependency to change. People are talking about that you might rely too heavily on starting over, on, which to me is totally fine. Like I said, this is gossip. This is just what people are saying. You don't have to listen to anything that these people are saying. But it feels like a codependency to changing yourself. Like you're always kind of presenting yourself as like, I'm growing, I'm changing. Like we literally have 4, 5 now with the death card, representations of change. So it's almost like a codependency to change. It's like because you rely so heavily on things changing and life constantly changing, it's like you don't dedicate yourself to a path. You don't dedicate yourself to one intention, one focus, one goal, one hobby, one talent. You know, Page of Swords. Yeah, it's like you need to dedicate yourself. I feel like some of you guys here are extremely talented communicators, writers. Also, some of you guys here could definitely be mental professional. Like especially if you have this drive for justice, it's like you could be mental health professionals. So I'm just getting a sense of like, be open to becoming the student with the page here. Be open to starting. Yes, you're going to start from the bottom. You're going from the ash to being renewed. So this renewal might look like you becoming a student and you being open to learning. Like some of you guys have been very comfortable in being in this king energy where it's like, you know, people look to you as a leader. Oh, compassionate, loving leader. But it's like, it's time to be open to being a student. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. Yeah, I get a sense of loss as well, and also just sorrow. So people are talking about a bit of sorrow. You might be keeping that to yourself though, because it might be hard to talk about. And people, like with this Ace of Swords, people might be discussing how they do wish you would open up. They do wish, yeah, with this 2 of Cups reverse, like they do wish that you would open up and like be more intimate with them and like be more real with them, be more open to like being vulnerable around them. Oh wow, another 5. It's the 5 of Swords though. So 5 of Cups and 5 of Swords. Like I just get a sense of like people are talking, like people are disagreeing. People are definitely disagreeing about who you are and about like as a person and like what your intentions are, what your focus is. Like people are just gossiping about how they disagree whether or not you're a good person, whether or not you are. I really get a sense of like whether or not you're extremely loving, because it is showing up here. You're extremely loving and loyal, but it's just this righteousness, I think, gets in the way where people doubt you because they see how you kind of might always think you're right, or you might struggle to see where you're wrong, or you might struggle to say sorry, or you might struggle to, you know, I don't know, something like that. So we do have strength in food. Food provides me with strength to move through each day. I listen to my body and what it wants and needs, and those signals are ever changing. Feeding my body is a powerful connection with nature. So people are talking about, This is hard. I don't really want to go into that, but people are talking about your eating habits, and they're talking about whether or not you're strong or weak because of your eating habits. Bottom of the deck, finances. I can spend or save my money how I see fit. I have worked hard to own what I have, and it is my choice and my choice alone. How to use it, no one can take this freedom away from me. So I do get a sense of like some people are just like really judgmental. Some people are looking at you as like, why can't they pick a path? Why can't they, you know, admit that they are biased and like that they can't possibly, you know, express justice for community when their perspective is limited or biased, you know? But it's like people are also talking about how you spend your money. Like people also gossip about how you spend your money. And they're also talking about how you spend it, how you see fit, and that no one can tell you otherwise kind of energy. So that's all that I have for you, pile 2. I really do hope that this energy resonated for you. I hope that these messages hit home. If it didn't, I'm so sorry. This was a little bit of a rough one. Oh, what the heck? Rough one. So people are discussing you a lot, but I feel like it really is 50-50 here, good and bad. Like some people love you, some people hate you, and hey, that's just how it is sometimes. But I love you guys. I'm sending you so much love, light, protection, blessings. If you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Until next time, peace. Hi there, pile number 3. You guys picked Exorcist, Light Attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, Shadow Attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Phew! Oh my god, pile 3. People are talking some deep stuff about you, like like people are definitely like getting deep about this and like talking about like your personal issues and like things you might not be seeing about yourself. So like just be prepared for that. This is gossip. This is just what people say. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is all true. Okay, keep this all in mind. Also, I just want to give you another heads up. This reminds me so similarly to pile 1. I feel like that pile was kind of coming through more stern, a lot darker though. Like there's a lot more sun energy, as you can see in this pile. So it just kind of feels like I'm hearing, oh god, I'm hearing Annie, The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Yes. Oh my God. Oh, that just warmed my heart. Like that just, I feel like this is kind of like phase 2. So like a lot of you guys might have been in that energy in the past where you were in survival mode, very confused, very upset, very much in this energy of like feeling separated from something as well. So that was all pile 1 energy. But let's go ahead and get into this energy here. What are people gossiping about? So people are talking about you have freed yourself and possibly others, but most importantly, you freed yourself of destructive impulses. So damn, like that's what I'm talking about. Like that's deep. Pile 3 is like people are talking about you have overcome something, and I feel like it was destructive to your life. So I don't know if you've overcome addiction. I don't know if you've overcome grief. I don't know if you've overcome abuse in any form. I don't know if you've overcome like issues from childhood, you know, mental disorders, whatever this is. And let's not say that mental disorders are destructive. I mean, they can be definitely, but that's not by, like, that wasn't an impulse, you know, that you created. So let's, you know, let's try to refresh. But because I feel like it was more of impulses that like you chose. It's not really about mental health. It's more about like impulses that you gave into, which actually, you know, your mental health could have been a reason you were choosing these things. So, you know, actually let's just bring it in, because, you know, overcoming your mental health, it can kind of, I feel like, bring in the sun, exactly like I was talking about. So take whatever situation resonates, guys. There's so many here, because what this energy is all about is just freedom. It's about liberation and freedom, and it's about you being clear of certain impulses that were sabotaging and destructive to your life. But there is also people that are talking about you having a fear of facing your own demons. So it's kind of conflicting energy. It's like some people might think differently, some people might see it differently. Like some people are seeing you as overcoming this, and some people are seeing you as like having a fear of facing your own demons. So it's like, I don't know why I'm getting like, it's just different perspectives. Like people really I think it depends on how closely they know you. But overall, I do just get a sense of like, you've removed yourself from either people and environment, like a toxic job, toxic home. Like you've freed yourself from something, an addiction, like I said, especially like something that was just very destructive, highly destructive to your life. But people are also talking about how now you isolate. People are saying that even when they invite you places, like you might not show up. People are even saying that you might like have a hard time picking out what to wear, or like you might be really picky on how you look and how you show up. But yeah, you see that this little entity here has this invitation in their hand, and they're looking at their suit, but the card says isolation. So it's like this indication that they're not going to go. So I get a sense of, you know, people inviting you, and people are talking about how, oh, I invited them, they didn't show. Oh, I invited them, you know, oh, you know, this and that. Oh, they probably didn't have something to wear. Oh, they didn't, you know, want to get ready or something like this. So, you know, it's connected to like how you look. Especially because, let's go ahead and just jump into it, talk about it. We have this not enough energy here as well. Frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. Okay, so people are talking about, you know, I feel like this could be inclusive of your destructive impulses, like your jealousy, you know, fear, ego issues, lack of confidence. Like those are destructive impulses. Like when you get jealous, that can be very destructive to relationships. You know what I mean? Self-sabotage here. We have and it could be self-sabotaging to you, especially because acting out of insecurity, acting out of not feeling enough, you know, it just leads you to, yeah, this frustration in relationships. Like you can't really show up as yourself kind of energy because you're so focused on what people are thinking, you know, and I feel like you focus too much on like what you're wearing, you focus too much on like how you look, you focus too much on like also like jealousy, or like that's what people are saying as well. Like keep in mind, this is gossip, this doesn't have to be the truth, but I'm just getting a sense of like people are talking about how you get jealous very easily, and that, so like to me, you freed yourself from something, whether it was addiction, toxic environment, toxic relationships, whatever. You freed yourself from something. But I do get a lingering sense of like you still have a lot of demons that you need to face. And with the fear of facing your own demons, it's like people are basing that opinion of like seeing you more in the shadow attribute because maybe they've seen more aspects of this insecurity, more aspects of this jealousy, this lack of confidence. And so they've seen these aspects of you, and so that's why they feel that they have a right to say these things, and that they have a right to be like, oh, this person doesn't think that they're enough, this person is insecure, this person doesn't have confidence, this person just self-sabotages, you know, that yada yada. Like people, you know, that's the gossip, that's what they're saying. It's like, oh, they didn't show up, they didn't come out, oh, they're probably just jealous, or they're probably just like insecure or whatever. Like that's what people assume, I feel like, especially like if you don't come out with them or something, which is like get new friends, you know, like if they really think all of that just because you didn't go out with them. But people talk about how you isolate, like they just assume that your isolation is based in insecurity, and they also have like this judgment of like you not willing to face these issues, this insecurity, this jealousy, all these things, this isolation, you know, not being able to face these demons. So let's keep going. Let's see what this is. Victim. Yep, people are talking about how you are someone with a victim complex, and that what's crazy about this is that you guys actually had this at the bottom of the deck. Trickery. So these are the only two cards with these imageries like this. It's so weird. This is such weird imagery. Like I cannot sometimes with these cards. What the hell? But yeah, people say sometimes, like people are talking about how you've been tricked in the past. People are talking about how you've been a victim to something. Like I just feel like you freed yourself, you exercised something, like you became an exorcist, and I think, you know, I'm seeing this smoke here too. This is such weird imagery. And also the cold, the ice, it's like you froze something out, you cleansed something out, you cleared something out, you exercised something out of your life. And people are saying that you were a victim in this situation and that you got tricked. So people are saying that, yeah, like you fall for things easily. And some people are saying you have a victim complex. Like some people are saying that you always have to be the victim. You always have to be like you might feel attacked is what people are saying. You might feel attacked or like a victim. But I find it funny, this is bottom of the deck trickery. So it's like some people, especially the people who are trying to like be like, this person is always a victim, like looking at you as like just having a victim complex. It's like they're not seeing what might have caused this energy, they're not seeing like the transaction, the trickery, you know, they're not seeing the full story. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's easy for me to be like, oh, victim complex as soon as I saw this, but then as soon as I pick this up, I'm like, oh, right, okay. There's a lot more to this story here, I see. And underneath that, guys, we have release. So it's like, I feel like you didn't want to release this energy. We also have grief. So you really mourned. We have a graveyard and we have grief here. So it's like you really mourned whatever destructive impulse or whatever. I feel like this was a toxic person in your life or like a toxic environment or something. It's like you had to release it, whether or not you wanted to. It wasn't a choice. And it was definitely, I feel like in the base, like you felt very tricked. You felt very deceived. You felt very much like you had no choice but to release this. And it just like, you might have shown up, like people only saw this energy instead of the whole story. You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to be like, oh, victim complex. But it's like, so the people who are gossiping about this, they only know so much of the story. The people who are gossiping more in depth, you know, they know more of the story here. So we also have, and what's interesting is like why I say is like you left somebody behind, like why I feel like this was a person specifically is like we have indicators in the tarot here, but we also have like, you know, it's like 3 people here. I don't want to count this fucking acorn as a person though. Like this is just so weird, but it just feels like this was something transactional. This was something like between like 2 to 3 people here. And you might have had to kind of like walk away from what wasn't serving you because yeah, like you had to release. And it's like people don't see the full story. Like they don't see that you mourned and you grieved and you cried and you were upset about this deception, about this trickery, about the fact that they put you in this victim energy, not that you wanted to, whether or not you wanted to be, you know, whether or not you have a victim complex or not. It just felt like a shitty situation. And the reason I say that is because we also have photograph here. Looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. So this is what people are gossiping about too, is that you might have a lot of photos with these people, or these places, you know, if it's like you move to a different city or something like that because your you know, something with your landlord, you know, it's like something very transactional, situational, and it feels like between 2 to 3 people. So I don't know, but I do get a sense of like this is somebody that you could have yeah, you could have spent a lot of time with this person. You could have taken a lot of pictures with this person. And it's just like you get a sense of like wanting to free yourself from this energy. So people are talking about how you want to free yourself from this nostalgia, from this past, and that people are looking at you taking new photos and making new memories as you, you know, moving more and more into this next chapter. We also have, last but not least, here with this these oracle cards, Cupid's arrow. Have faith, love is coming, surprise, invitation or meeting, hesitation. So it's so funny, we have invitation and hesitation. Like it's like people are talking about how you hesitate constantly to go out or to be invited. Like when you're invited, you hesitate. Like especially if it's like a surprise invitation or a surprise, like all of a sudden, like let's go, like you might kind of hesitate or not feel prepared, not feel ready here. But we have faith, love is coming, Cupid's arrow. So people are talking about how you have faith and that you do believe in love. You feel like love's still coming. Like I just get a very optimistic energy, especially with moving up next. We have the sun here. Like you are just glowing, you are shining here. People feel that you have freed yourself to some degree from being a victim. And it's like, even though you might be isolating at this time, I do get a sense of like, you might be taking more pictures with photograph. You might be taking more photos of yourself, like, you know, stunting, like just looking really good, dressing up. You see how like they got the earrings, they got the feathers, they got the face paint, they got the crown, they got, you know, they're decked out to the nines. And I get a sense of like, you're going to start decking yourself out to the nines. Bottom of the deck, we also have Cancer. So to me, this is giving like homebody energy. Like you just want to be at home, comfy, cozy. People are talking about how you just want to be like comfy, cozy, and like in this motherly, nurturing, like let's bake cupcakes, cookies, let's smoke some weed on the couch and binge watch Netflix with some popcorn and shakes and smoothies. You know, like you just want to like be at home. And people are talking about how comforting you are. They're talking about how comforting you are. We have the sun in Cancer, like, you know, we have the sun and Cancer, and oh, Saturn. So that's that pile 1 energy. I feel like you've already moved past that. You know, where we had the father energy, we have more of this motherly energy. So it's like you guys are coming through as more motherly than pile 1. Like you're just coming across as like way more feminine. I want to say, no matter the gender, you're just coming across as more feminine, just more like you want to take care of people as well. And I just feel like a sense of like you got in trouble like trying to take care of people, because people might have saw this really sweet Cancer energy and just like kind of took advantage of that. We also have 13 and we also have 4 on Cancer. So 4, you know, they could have saw stability in you. They could have saw different things within you. So whatever this trickery is about, it's like they saw positives in you, and that's the reason why they made these decisions. But boom, we have lightning. Oh my God, I love how this... I love how tarot flows, guys. We have lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. I do get a sense of like this was an epiphany for you. I feel like you realized you were a victim in a situation of deception, of trickery, of somebody being very transactional with you, of somebody being very just greedy as well. Like greedy, it's like, see, they're greedy and they're also treating them like they're stupid. It's like giving giving a dime to somebody because they told you the penny is bigger. Trading your dime for a penny, you know what I mean? And it's just like they acted like you were stupid. They acted like they could trick you, and I just get a sense of like you had this epiphany. Lightning, something changed, something happened. It could have been very sudden. We also have the Tower, and it's literally like, usually the Tower has lightning bolts too, you know, it's just like a really chaotic scene. So I do get a sense of people are gossiping about this Tower moment. They're definitely gossiping about this sudden change. They're gossiping about your epiphany. They're gossiping about your upheaval and your transformation. They're talking about the upheaval definitely, because the Tower, it's just like mass destruction. So when, you know, mass destruction happens in anybody's life, people are going to talk about it. And I also see here with the Knight of Wands in reverse, people are talking about how this person was jealous of your uniqueness. They were jealous of how you stood out. It's like you have this unicorn energy, and I feel like a lot of these people were extremely jealous of you. And I feel like you have a hard time understanding this because you have this insecurity demon attached to you. And so you might have a hard time seeing yourself in this unicorn energy here. But this person was very jealous, very aggressive, very destructive with their words. Like I just get a sense of like this person targeted you specifically, like I said, because of your good traits. And I fucking hate J.K. Rowling, but because she's a transphobe, but I'm seeing the scene in Harry Potter where Voldemort is feasting on the unicorn blood, you know, they're feasting. So it's kind of like that energy of like somebody feeding on something very pure, very, and not to say you're pure, but it's more of like you had more pure intentions, I think, for this situation. And exactly, it's like whereas you had wishes and dreams and goals for the situation, it turned into a nightmare. The Nine of Cups in reverse is a nightmare. So I feel like people were talking about how this was a nightmare situation for you, and I was like just gonna leave it at that, but I was like, give me a little bit more. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. I don't know why my brain was like giving me Eight of Cups messages when I pulled this originally. So I was getting Eight of Cups, which is like all about, you know, you stayed longer than you needed to in a situation that was no longer serving you. But this is actually the Eight of Pentacles. So to me, this is like something that got very repetitive, very boring, very mundane, just very, it was like over and over. I'm hearing Groundhog's Day. Like it was too much. And I think it was just becoming a nightmare situation over and over and over and over again. And I feel like you decided, you committed to freeing yourself. You committed to freeing yourself from whatever destructive, toxic environment, people this was. And you also freed yourself. I feel like the most important thing is like you freed yourself of your own destructive impulse, which I think would have been to stay in this situation, to stay in this toxic environment, to just like keep kind of being a martyr, being somebody who is, you know, doormat energy. It's just like somebody who didn't do anything about the deception. I feel like as soon as you realized what was going on, as soon as you could figure it out for yourself, it's like you committed to yourself. We have the candle slow burn here as well. So I feel like this was a slow burn. Like this was a slow burn for you. This could have been a span of over years for you. And the Hierophant is Taurus energy as well, but it just represents like tradition, commitments. Like I just feel like you became somebody more focused on stability. I feel like this is very chaotic. This is very exhausting energy to be in, and it feels like a nightmare. It's very repetitive too, like a repetitive nightmare over and over, day in, day out. And with the Hierophant here, it just shows stability, it shows tradition, it shows grounding. It's a lot of earth energy. Underneath that, we do the Two of Cups in reverse. I just feel like this connection was so imbalanced. Whoever this person was, the devil underneath that. As soon as I'm like, whoever this person was, the devil. Like people are gossiping about how you were in a toxic relationship. People are gossiping about how you were in a toxic connection. Whatever it was just so imbalanced. It was an unequal give and take. And I feel like you wanted more for yourself, and you freed yourself from these impulses. Really cool, pile 3. Last card. What's the gossip on pile number? That's 2 cards. I just want 1. Pile number 3, please. All right, mutual love. Exactly. Love is seeking me just as I am seeking it. Just as my love swoons and bursts into wondrous colors and lights, the love that is seeking me is also infinite. The love that I put out into the world will circle back to me. And I feel like you realize that. You realized you could have this mutual love in your life. People are gossiping about how now you only accept the best. You only accept people who are truly committed to you, people who will give you equality in relationships, and people who are mutually as infatuated and as in love with you as you are with them. Bottom of the deck, best version. Every day I'm growing into my full potential, therefore I'm becoming more intrinsically valuable to the world. So I will walk with arms wide to receive the challenges coming my way. At this moment, I am the best version of myself, and tomorrow I'll be even better. I get a sense of like you are challenging yourself every day to grow and to be into your full potential. And I feel like for those of you who are still struggling with these fear, ego, jealousy, you know, insecurity, isolation issues, whatever falls under your category here, it's just like you walk with open arms to receive those challenges, and you know, and you're just trying to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. So like, don't be so hard on yourself. People are gossiping about how you're growing. They're gossiping about how this is the best version of you that they've ever seen. Okay, like people are saying you escaped a really shitty, scary situation, a really destructive, repetitive nightmare, and you're stepping into stability now. You're stepping into comfort. And I think that those people who know more of the story here, they understand this isolation, and they understand maybe even that you still have demons just like everybody else. But you're not going to accept people who are not, you know, giving equality in relationships, like I said. So that's all the time I have for you, pile 3. I do hope that this message resonated for you guys. If it did, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, come on now, and comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Please comment a dragon or some shit. Like, I hate these cards. They're so ridiculous. I love hate, okay? It's a love-hate relationship, but damn, like what on earth? Like, can somebody explain this to me, please? But until next time, I am sending y'all love, light, protection, blessings, peace. See ya. Oh my God. Pile number 4. You guys have unlocked the bonus reading. What? Yep. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Pile number 4. This is basically where I have enough time to bullshit around and pull for myself. So I've decided I want to start filming it, sharing it with the collective, seeing if some lonely pile 4s out there need to hear these messages. And I get so scared at the beginning of these readings, like, oh my God, like Spirit's about to dish out the gossip, like Spirit's about to for real do me dirty here. And you know what? They still could. There's still some, you know, hidden cards here. But for the most part, this shit looks great. This shit looks good. Like, I'm down. But I'm still gonna read it the same way I read the other piles. It's a little bit hard, but it just tries to keep me, you know, separate so I can read for the collective and try to be as unbiased as possible, okay? So let's go ahead and start. We have dilettante. I think that's how you say it. Dilettante. So Light attributes: delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. And we also have shadow attribute: pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Boom. So we got people hating off the bat. So there's half and half here. There's, you know, and always with these archetype cards, you know, there's a light and a shadow attribute. So the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. So there's some people who see you as somebody who delights in doing all kinds of different artistic challenges or artistic mediums is what I'm trying to say. And you might just try a bunch of different things, even though you're not a professional, even though, you know, you don't have a degree in art or theater or whatever it may be. It's just like you still go for it. You know, she has a journal here. It could indicate writing. She has painting. She has gardening. Could some of you garden? There's also a bowl that she's mixing in her lap. So some of you guys like to bake or cook. But yeah, it's just like you do a lot. People are gossiping about how you do a lot. You're all over the place. If you could have 4 arms, you would. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuit. So a lot of people are talking about how you are not superficial, like you're not somebody who really cares about shallowness and the outside exterior. Like you don't want to become superficial in your pursuits, like you just want it to be flowing from an artistic, creative standpoint versus like a shallow, superficial standpoint of like, what does the audience want? Like you want it to be more authentic is what people are talking about, like very humble. But then there's other people here who are gossiping about how you don't know as much as you say you do, and that you come off as undereducated, okay, is what people are gossiping. And like I've said to every single pile, this is just gossip. It doesn't have to be true. This is just mean shit people say alone to their moms when they're mad. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like people are saying that, you know, you act like you're a professional in certain aspects, but you could still be like a student or a beginner, or like you might not have as much knowledge as you're coming across as you do. Which to me is just like, why would you say that? That's so fucked up. Honestly, like that's so fucked up. Like I can't think of being like, oh man. Well, I guess I could think of it, especially if it's like a doctor or something, you know, somebody who's acting like they know more than they don't. But I get a sense that this is like more so like within arts, you know, it's weird. So let's keep going. Okay, we have soulmate. Oh, sorry guys, I'm tired. So soulmate popped right out. So people are gossiping about the fact that you might have met your soulmate, that you might be dating your soulmate, you might be connected with your soulmate. If it's not like a romantic partner, this could be like a really close best friend. But I'm getting a sense of like you guys, honestly, it does feel very romantic. Just the bright red is just giving me a lot of passion, a lot of love. I feel like this person feels connected to you. Even when they close their eyes kind of thing, like you live on with them in spirit constantly. It's not really about you guys physically being together all the time, but you just feel very... Well, my phone just died, so let's keep going. As I was saying, it just feels really red, hot, passionate, and really loving as well. Just like soulmate to me, instead of this being like love or, you know, like passion. Soulmate, it's just like kind of like that next level energy connecting you guys, where it's like you have changed each other's lives through lessons and through your experience and journey with each other. You've emotionally developed like a spiritual connection as well, where, you know, you can feel them with you energetically. So like that's pretty powerful. That's intimacy, you know. We also have engagement ring. So people are gossiping about how you guys are going to be getting engaged soon, or maybe this person is planning an engagement or something. That would be crazy, guys. I don't know if I claim that. I'm just kidding. Like I can control that. But people are talking about how this could be the person that you're going to marry. We have engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. So yeah, people are like, that's why I'm definitely getting more of a romantic energy over a friendship energy. But if it is friendship, it's just like very committed, very loyal. Like you guys are in union with each other. Okay. So people are gossiping very heavily about your relationship, about your soulmate, about engagement ring, about all these things. Like they wonder where your love life is going to go. People are talking about your love life a lot. So we also have abundance. People are also talking about your money. They're talking about, it's more of a mindset though. I think people are talking about how you have an abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. So it's like, I love this card so much. This to me just shows scarcity mindset in such a simple way. They both dropped their coin in the sewer, but instead of just panicking, going to the bar to drink, you know, solutions, right? She gets some gum, she gets a string, and she makes her way into the sewer, you know, with the string. And it even shows like a house in the back that says for sale. So it's almost like having that goal in mind of like, instead of constantly panicking and also like not figuring out a solution, like instead of finding a solution, he went and spent more money, you know, on that beer to make himself feel better. But instead, she, you know, she has these goals in mind. So people are talking about how it's not even about your finances, it's more of your mindset. You have an abundance mindset where you are going to reach the goals that you intend to. So let's see what's going on here. We have stabbed in the back. Ooh, so we have heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. So people are gossiping about your heartbreak. They're gossiping about your pain. They're gossiping about a possible separation or a deception or a shocking attack. So people are gossiping about like the bad things that have happened to you. They're gossiping about, you know, somebody I think who has stabbed you in the back. People who stab you in the back, or a person who has stabbed you in the back specifically. And I feel like it's so weird, this energy conflicting. Is it like, you know, how these align for the most part? We'll see with this one, but like usually in other readings too, they align, you know, and it's just this energy of like this dilettante minding their business, like doing all these things, and it's just like this stabbed in the back energy. It's kind of like, you know, especially this card was turned over, it was hidden. So a lot of people are gossiping about how you wouldn't expect this person to be so affected. Like you wouldn't expect this person who is, maybe you're distracting yourself with all these arts or these things, you know, but it's just like the core of maybe you chasing after creative pursuits here is because of being stabbed in the back. You know, this could have kind of triggered you to go towards trying things, new things, whether or not you're a professional. Like it's just not lining up, you know. It's just like kind of like this was very shocking. This was something that you didn't really expect. So and as I say shocking, my cat just ran back to the house. We have cassette, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Ooh, so people are gossiping about how you might not be over this. And they're also gossiping, like I said, about you might have had a conditioned scarcity mindset in the past. Like you might have not really found solutions for your problems. You might have instead like indulged in addictions, or you know, you created more problems for yourself instead of creating solutions. You had a very like, you know, you had a scarcity mindset when it came to abundance. It was outdated thinking. I think these were things you might have learned that they were taught to you. Conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Yeah, you might have kind of just been like a broken record at some point where people were getting tired of hearing about your mindset in the past. So that is pretty neat to kind of see this shifting, changing. People are gossiping about how like I said though, people are gossiping about how you might be kind of overthinking or over like replaying this event, this stabbed in the back event over in your head. We have Sun. Okay, pile 3 just had this energy too. So I just get a sense of like, I think you're ready to kind of shine. You're ready to get out there. And I just love this energy. The earrings, the feathers, the face paint, the you know, everything about this, the garb, everything, you know, it's just like, it's just dressed up to the nines energy. So I get a sense of people are looking at you as somebody who is taking care of their external vessel, but at the same time, the reason I think that you're glowing is because of whatever artistic pursuits you're going after, whatever creative ideas you're having, you're expressing, especially your self-expression, like the way you're showing up in physical form, I think is really expressing who you are as a person more and more every day. And people are loving that, your self-expression. People are gossiping about your self-expression. Also, this is the number 4. So they're gossiping about your stability and how you might have gained more stability, especially when it came to how you dress yourself, how your confidence levels are. So that's really beautiful, pile number 4. Water. Okay, so they're also talking about how emotional you are. People are gossiping about how emotional you are and how with the 24 break it into a 6, how nurturing you are as well. Like people can go to you with their emotional problems and not feel like you're gonna judge them. People can be vulnerable with you and discuss these things with you without feeling like you're gonna judge them for being over emotional. Bottom of the decks, let's see, we do have confusion. So people are gossiping about you being confused about something. What are they confused about? Perception. So you might be confused right now about how you see certain things, especially with this imagery. I always get that this is intrusive thoughts kind of going on, if you guys could see that. So if you struggle with that, you know, this could also be just mental health. You know, it could have been confusing you for a long time. And for those of you who have been working on your perception or getting help with your mental health, you could be seeing things differently. Rejection, gratitude. You could be looking at rejection as protection. You could be starting, I just feel like you're starting to see things differently. And it's like you're starting to see that whatever this stabbed in the back rejection energy was, it's like you're grateful for it because it taught you who's really there for you, who really will grow and love you for who you are, instead of like these people who just add to your intrusive thoughts or who add to, you know, your negative mental health. So I just feel like you're changing. You're starting to see things differently here. Bottom of the deck, we did have femme fatale. Just kidding. So people are talking about your physical, like they're talking about you expressing yourself maybe more sexually, maybe more confidently, ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for union. What is this union? Like some of you guys are preparing maybe to move in together, to have kids, to get married, something like that, some new level. But it's not all about your relationship here. People are also gossiping about how you're just learning, you're expanding, you're going to a new phase of your life. It's like now that you've been able to change your mindset, change your perception, You're no longer confused. You can move forward. You don't have to stay with this conditioning, this outdated thinking. Okay, so we also have the 8 of Cups. I love this. So it looks like you guys are moving on. Like you guys are leaving things that aren't serving you in the past. You guys are definitely like going on a journey here, like a new path, a new phase. But it's like beautiful because you're willing to sacrifice certain things in your life that aren't serving you. You're willing to let go, release the things that are not serving you. Like, you know, especially this mindset, especially like also releasing this pain, healing and releasing from this pain is through walking away and not looking back. Okay, so we also have this beautiful 5 of Wands in reverse, and look, it's like text messages. I love this 5 of Wands. Like, it's such a creative way of expressing the 5 of Wands here, because it shows 5 text messages showing up. We got 555 on the screen. Some of you guys, synchronicities have been hitting lately, but I'm just getting a sense of like you are not interested in the drama. Like, you're not interested in arguing, you're not interested in the conflict, in the aggression, in the violence. Like, you're just not interested in fighting and competing with other people, especially. Like, you're not wanting to compete, you're not wanting to fight, you don't want to do it. So you are, I feel like, really choosing your battles wisely, and you're also choosing when to despond and when to just like not react at all and just like not give in to any of that dramatic energy. We also have the 7 of Wands. So I love that. It's like you're walking away, you're moving into this new phase in your life, and you're no longer putting up with drama, conflict, competition. And it's like you're putting up new walls, you're putting up new boundaries, you're putting up, you know, people are gossiping and saying that you're becoming defensive. People are gossiping, saying you're defensive. But I feel like this could definitely be the people that you're walking away from. People feel like you're defensive, like the people who you're walking away from, or the people that you're ignoring by not giving into their conflict, not giving into their pettiness. Okay, so let's get one more. Nice. Like, you're just putting your head down, you're working hard. We have the 8 of Pentacles here. I don't know why I'm getting like the Office energy where Jim puts Dwight's stapler in the jelly in the jello. But yeah, 8 of Pentacles here. It's just like, I think that you are a really hard worker, and you're really good at like consistency, building consistency here. And people are gossiping about how hard of a worker you are. Ace of Cups in reverse, and that you are no longer going to fill up other people's cups for them. You're too much of a hard worker to fill up other people's cups here, okay? But I do get a sense of like making sure your cup is full too, because I do feel like this is a lot of growth, this is a lot of change, this is a lot of like new phase energy. So it's also like just making sure your own cup is full. People are gossiping about that, like making sure you keep your cup full. We have water cycle. Like the earth, I am made of water. And underneath that, guys, my guides love to. Neptune, a tarot baby. Like the earth, I am made of water, flowing through my veins, just like the rain that falls down, only to be carried back up. My body too is a cycle. Every sip revitalizes me and brings me a sense of gratefulness. So people are talking about how you're more hydrated and you're more connected to water as well. Like, some of you guys could definitely be water sign, Pisces gang, Cancer, Scorpio. But yeah, it's like people are talking about how connected to water you are, and about how you might just be more hydrated. You might be going swimming more. You know, it's summer. You might be getting out to the pool, to the river, to the ocean. But that's all the time I have for you, pile 4. I hope that this message resonated with you guys. I'm sending you so much love, light, protection, blessings. This was so much fun. Till next time. Peace, y'all.